and welcome to another episode on Startups. I'm Tamilore Akinkolye. Now, the world is increasingly aware of the need for environmental responsibility. Now, one pioneering company is making waves by turning waste into valuable resources. Now, this story helps us in redefining the way we think about our waste products. Now, welcome to Free Recycle Limited, where innovation meets empowerment.
We've been known now for a good number of years for flooring solutions, especially for impact area. We've gone on to also provide transportation flooring. So you have the regular flooring solution, which we deploy to gyms, we deploy to playground. But aside from that as well, we also produce transportation flooring that can be used on buses, can be used on ships or boats. Then we've also gone on to produce solution for the construction industry expansion joint, and quite recently as well we've gone into the fashion space, producing, or better still manufacturing, flip-flops, school sandals, utilizing the rubber from the waste tires. My name is Ifedola Porunsewe, and I'm the founder and managing director of Free Recycle Limited.
Founded in 2020 by Ifedola Porunsewe, Free Recycle Limited is a trailblazing company dedicated to recycling tires into flooring materials and rubber footwear. With a focus on female empowerment, this company is not just about business, it's about making a difference.
So it was a gradual work in progress, but I think 2018 was where the interest was actually sparked, and then we started looking at solutions that we can deploy to manage waste. And then that brought us into 2020, just before COVID, where we then kickstarted our operations gradually. We first started with collections actually, because if you're looking at processing as much as 2,000 to 3,000 tires daily, you need to have a channel for that feedstock. And the collection infrastructure didn't necessarily exist, especially in our community where we are in Oyo State. So we had to develop our own infrastructure from scratch, get our own collectors, our aggregators, possible logistic partners as well. So we started with that gradually in late 2019, then 2020. Then by the time our equipment came in towards the end of 2020, we were able to commence our operations. So I mean, it's two things that we're proud of: the fact that we're majority female owned and we're female led. However, if you're doing something at this scale, it's not something that can be 100% self-funded. I feel really proud. I mean, gone are the days where women were limited to certain sectors. We've seen a wave of change in the past couple of decades, and we've started to see women in industries that were otherwise deemed to be strictly for men. So I'm very, very proud to be able to do this, and it's just, you know, and also to even let other women know that you can do much more than this. This is a starting point. Being a pioneer in this space, it's quite, you know, it's something that I'm very proud of, and it will be very, very good to also see other women venture into this space as well.
What sets Free Recycle Limited apart is its unique recycling method. Here, every material in the tire is transformed into a new product, ensuring nothing goes to waste.
So I think what makes us stand out and what makes us unique is how we actually process the tires. You're either recycling tires or you're upcycling them. In our own case, we're recycling the tires, and what even makes it more interesting is we operate a zero waste system in which all the parts of the tires are actually being recycled, from the rubber to the steel to the fiber. We have different applications for every material in the tire. So I think that's what, you know, makes us stand out, and also very minimal emissions as well from our recycling process.
However, the path to success is not without its hurdles. One of the major challenges Ifedola faces is the high cost of power, which significantly affects the pricing of their products.
I mean, there are a lot of things. I think generally, not just peculiar to my sector, we are faced with different challenges in the manufacturing space. And it's something that perhaps wouldn't have affected us, but because we are running an integrated system where we are recycling and also manufacturing, we've also been faced with these challenges. Talk of infrastructure. We spend quite a lot of money on power every month. If you take that out, it has a direct impact on the pricing of the product as well. So imagine if I have to take that out of the challenges that I'm facing. And then another thing would be the waste management infrastructure itself. We've had to create our own infrastructure from scratch, our collection infrastructure, our waste collectors, our aggregators, even logistics part of this. But you find out that in other countries, the tires find their way to recycling facilities like ours. We don't have to go out there to look for these tires, but that has been the case here in Nigeria. You have to go outside and look for these tires. Although through a program that we're running, the Extended Consumer Responsibility Program, we have tires that come in from organizations that we partner with as their recycling partners, and they bring the tires down to a facility for recycling. So it's just when I think the most important thing is when you're faced with these challenges, how do you overcome them? What system do you put in place to just ensure that everything works? It won't always work 100%. I mean, you wake up every day and there are new challenges that you didn't even think existed. You have the equipment part of it as well, not being able to source for your spare part locally, having to look, to source for FX to import your spare part. And then you can even, you can wake up and something that you never thought of is already happening. So we just ensure that we have a system in place in which we identify the risk and then we put systems in place to mitigate this risk. And so it's work in progress for us.
Despite these challenges, Free Recycle Limited's greatest achievement lies in its impact. From providing employment opportunities to transforming waste into valuable products, the company's influence is profound.
I think the achievement for us is the impact that we've been able to achieve. It's not what, I mean, when you look long term in terms of what we're looking to achieve, we've made steady strides, right? Being able to recycle over 300,000 tires, looking at 8,000 metric tons in CO2 savings, and then the jobs as well that have been created. I think that those are the greatest achievements, being able to measure the impact of what we're doing. And our goal and mission as well is to get to a place where we're able to recycle as much as 2 million tires annually.
Looking ahead, Ifedolapo has ambitious plans for expansion. Free Recycle Limited aims to broaden its horizons by recycling other types of waste, further cementing its role as a leader in sustainable innovation.
Rubber is very versatile. We've been known now for a good number of years for flooring solutions, especially for impact area. We've gone on to also provide transportation flooring. So you have the regular flooring solution, which we deploy to gyms, we deploy to playground. But aside from that as well, we also produce transportation flooring that can be used on buses, can be used on ships or boats. Then we've also gone on to produce solution for the construction industry expansion joints. And quite recently as well, we've gone into the fashion space, producing, or better still manufacturing, flip-flops, school sandals, utilizing the rubber from the waste tires.
Free Recycle Limited is more than a company, it's a movement.
Now, if you've ever tried to find affordable, authentic and local made online in this sprawling metropolis of Lagos, you know that it is not an easy feat. But today we're diving into a story which is also the lifeline for local mama puts. I mean those talented women who cook up the traditional meals that redefine Lagos' vibrant food culture. But remember that this story is not just about food, but also about the impact the organization is giving.
we stand for quality as well. So one of the criteria is that your meal must be delicious, well prepared, because you don't want people to eat what is not good, what is not healthy. So you must have a delicious meal, number one, and also a local meal like swallow, soup and swallow. So that's one of the, and those are some of the criteria. We do meal testing too, to ensure that the quality that goes out to our customers is on top, is top notch.
My name is Fashola Oba, and I'm the co-founder of Local Eats Africa.
It all started when a couple couldn't find affordable local meals to order online for lunch in Lagos. Determined to solve this problem, they created an online food ordering platform where everyone can enjoy local delicacies from local restaurants, also known as Mama Puts. This is the story of Local Eats Africa.
As a newly married couple, and we're into tech, and we've been spending a lot of time with the laptop, so we don't really have enough time to go to the markets or buy or cook food like that. And also we needed to balance our work life. So there is this restaurant beside our office where we used to patronize, and the food is delicious, like it's just like Mama's meal. So we decided to patronize the restaurant, and we saw that if we are facing this, a lot of people will be facing this issue too. And also not just for the people, also for the restaurants. They are doing something great that a lot of people should tap into it. So we said, let's start this. And we started with our then customer that has turned to a partner. So we started with her, and we saw the response in the marketplace, and we said, and we're like, okay, so I think we think we can take this to a bigger level. So thus we have Local Eats Africa.
In the Local Eats Africa marketplace, you will discover a rich variety of meals, from the flavors of Calabar Igbo restaurants and Amala Sport to the delights of Anambra kitchens and Effiok Ibibio kitchens, where every cultural taste is just a click away.
We stand for quality as well. So one of the criteria is that your meal must be delicious, well prepared, because you don't want people to eat what is not good, what is not healthy. So you must have a delicious meal, number one, and also a local meal like swallow, soup and swallow. So that's one of the, and those are some of the criteria. And you're a small restaurant, and you are just starting or looking to grow. So those are some of the criteria that we use. So anybody, that is, if you have a good restaurant, Khalifa can sign up, but we have to vet through that. We do meal testing too, to ensure that the quality that goes out to our customers is on top, is top notch. It's open to all tribes, right? Because it has to do with local meals. So we have all tribes in Nigeria, and you know, as in the city of Lagos here, you have every tribe that is in Lagos, and you want to give them what they love. So it's open to all tribes. Though we just started with the Calabar Igbo restaurants, we have the Amala Sport, then we also have the Hausa local meals, so and so on and so forth.
Local Eats Africa is not just about convenience, it's about empowerment. By providing technology, marketing support, and financial inclusion, the platform helps local restaurants, particularly those owned by women, to flourish in the digital age.
Helping small local restaurants with digital and financial inclusion, helping them to grow online and also to build a financial record and access to funds as well. Yes, so for Local East Africa, our vision is to help, is to make small restaurants, traditional local restaurants, to be sustainable in business, because with the technology innovation and the disruption of technology, these small restaurants who are custodian of local recipes are endangered species in the marketplace. So most of the time they are overlooked by new technology and innovation. So what we want to do is to make these small local businesses so viable and sustainable that they become businesses that can be handed over to the next generation. So you have small businesses that have keyman risk. Most of these restaurants also are owned by women, right? So most times these restaurants have a whole lot of impact in the family, in the community, but they are also they have a lot of challenges. Most of these restaurants, they are owned by women that are not educated or have little education. So they don't really understand or have the capacity to make the business live beyond them. Even for the business, when they are sick, most of the time the restaurant shut down. And these are very critical restaurants or businesses that are very connected to our communities. From these restaurants, a lot of people go to school. From these restaurants, a lot of people that can afford like high-end restaurants to go out and all that, they depend on these restaurants. Also from these small restaurants, you see, they serve a wider citizen range in the urban cities. Most of the Nigeria is a very populous nation, but the earning power of the average Nigeria is low. These restaurants serve this market and they are endangered. They don't have technology and all that to grow. So we want a vision. Our vision is to help this restaurant to be sustainable, to be profitable, and to become businesses that can be handed over to the next generation, where they are able to create more jobs because of digital and financial inclusion that we are providing. Apart from the sales, right, that we offer, we also offer financial inclusion, which has to do with record keeping, bookkeeping, and all that. A number of them don't have any form of proper bookkeeping. They don't have any form of proper bookkeeping, which affects their ability to really have business insights.
In just a year, they have expanded their offerings to include prep-to-cook kits, providing customers with pre-prepared ingredients to cook at home.
Also has to do with new menus. We call it menuization, right? Menuization for us is the ability to produce diverse meals to increase the service range to the customers. For instance, we introduce prep to cook. Prep to cook, these restaurants, all their meals are fresh. The leaves, everything they do, they get from the market and they prepare fresh. Now, how about the audience, the market, the people in the city that want to cook their meals, but they don't have the time to go to the market? They want to cook their meals, but they don't have the time for all the stress to now start prepping. Prepping before cooking is a whole job. Now, these people do all this every day, and we work with them to now introduce this line of product, which is prep to cook, where you order meals, but not yet cooked, but already cleaned, already prepared. All you need to do is just get them and take it to the house, and you cook. So, making it easy to live in urban cities. So, you now have more time to spend with your family, you now have more time to eat healthier and all that. And these are new lines that we're introducing to the market for these our restaurants to bring in more value across the chain. And a whole lot of other things. Some are sales driven, others are business growth driven, right? For instance, we are also helping them to improve how they serve their customers by trainings. One thing we know is that what they bring to the market is they are custodians of traditional knowledge of our cultural meals. So we are now infusing modern technology to preserve these custodians. We can call them the traditional chefs, right? And now infused with technology and with the knowledge they have, bring in more business insights to help grow. That's actually the bane of what we are trying to solve, to make it more sustainable.
When many question the hygiene process of this local restaurant, Local Eats Africa ensure all vendors meet strict hygiene standards, even declining those who do not comply.
Meal testing is really important. So if when we receive feedback, in any case where we receive feedback from customers that they actually ate this and it's not okay, so, and if we reach out to the vendor, you know, there are times that maybe that's the first time the customer tests that and maybe it's not used to it.
Local Eats' main target is the local mama put who may not be educated but are masters at cooking traditional meals.
When you support Local Eats through any of our brand meals like Calabar Igbo Restaurant, Efikibio Kitchen, Amala Sports, and the likes, when you are patronizing any of our vendors on our platform, you are supporting a family. You are supporting people that put their blood and their life into building a business for themselves. That's number one. Secondly, if you know of any Mama Nkechi, Iya Bola, or anybody around your community that has a small restaurant, but they are dedicated to every day opening up, showing up in the marketplace, cooking and serving their local environment, their local community, you can do well to recommend them to us, introduce them, because most of these vendors, these people, they are not really online. So you can also support this business by recommending them to us, and they'll be forever grateful that you did that, because we've seen that happen over time. Imagine you introducing somebody that today sells as much as 100,000 every week. This is somebody that has never sold 5,000 online like that. Now imagine how much impact you have made in their lives.
For many local restaurant owners, joining Local Eats Africa have been a game changer, significantly boosting their sales and customer base.
By the roadside, year 2000, and this is my 24 years of cooking, and it was a very humble beginning. So I wanted to survive. That's why I started selling food by the roadside. Selling food actually was not my passion initially. I had a beauty parlor for 7 years, somewhere in Surulere. So one day the landlady just said her daughter wanted to use that shop I was using in Surulere. So I now packed those things, my dryers, my everything. I took them home. That was I had that salon 1992 to 97, thereabouts. So when I took those things home, I didn't have money to rent another shop. So I was now doing buying and selling. People were owing me, you know. At a point, I just said, let me just sell these dryers. They are just here, they are not doing anything. So it was the 2 dryers I sold to start Wisdom Kitchen by the roadside, year 2000. You see, there's time for everything. Because Local Eats came at the time I really needed them. Because there's a major road that leads to the express, you know. All this government, they now said it was a wrong map. So they now closed most of the road. So there was no linkage to express. So this, where my shop is, was now like quiet. There was no sales again and all that. So God just used Local Eats to discover me. And I think I've been in partnership with them since last year, May. Last year, May, if I'm not mistaken, May. And the journey so far has been awesome. In fact, I just thank God that I key in, I gave it a try, and since that time, I've never regretted at all. They are so reliable, they don't disappoint. When you do your sales, they pay you your money, they don't owe. So God really used them to discover me and they really helped me in my business. They helped me.
The difference between then and now, my business is moving well, more than that time. It bring more customers to me and connection. More people are ordered through the line. Some people will come, like those FC students. They say they see my food online, they will come and buy it. And it also bring more customers for me as before.
I have seen that there's a lot of improvement since working with Local Eats, and I now sell more than before. I now sell more than before, and I now have more customers.
Local Eats Africa is more than just a food delivery platform. It's a celebration of culture, community, and culinary diversity.
And that's all we can take on this episode on Startup. See you again next time. I'm Tamilore Akinkolie.